Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into something that, well, it can be one of the most confusing tensions in spiritual life.
Mm.
It's that relationship between what you believe, your faith, and what you actually do, your works.
And this isn't just, some abstract theological debate. This really defines how you approach your day-to-day life.
It's a huge paradox, isn't it?
Mm.
On one hand, you hear that salvation is a gift, it's all about grace, but then on the other, there's this really intense insistence that if your faith doesn't uh, produce something tangible, it's basically worthless.
Exactly. You risk either burning out, trying to earn something that's already a gift, or you become complacent, thinking your actions don't matter at all.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We've looked at three major passages that seem to come at this from different angles, and we're going to try to pull out that unified view.
The divine symmetry, so to speak.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning, the foundation. We have to establish that our works, our human effort, it does not earn our salvation.
This is the non-negotiable starting point.
Yeah, and the sources point us right to Ephesians chapter 2. It's probably the cornerstone for this whole idea of grace.
It is.
It says, "For it is by grace you have been saved, through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast."
And that last part is so critical, so that no one can boast.
Right.
It's specifically designed to stop any kind of human pride dead in its tracks. I mean, think about it. If you could earn it, even a little bit, then it becomes a competition.
A spiritual meritocracy.
Exactly. The person with 10,000 good deeds has bragging rights over the person with 5,000. This just makes it clear salvation is a gift, and you can't, by definition, purchase a gift.
That makes perfect sense. But here's where, the confusion immediately kicks in for so many of us. If it's a gift, why does the very next verse 10 seem to, well, turn around and give us homework?
That's a great way to put it. And that is the critical pivot. If we just stopped at verse 9, we could become totally passive. But verse 10 tells us the purpose of that salvation. It says, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do."
Handiwork. That's an interesting word choice.
It's a fascinating word. In the original language, it's a word that suggests a masterpiece, a work of art.
So,
Yeah.
not just something thrown together.
Not at all. The idea is the works we do aren't to buy our salvation. They are the intentional expression of the new creation we've already become. The works aren't the root of salvation. They're the fruit.
Okay, so if grace is the root and faith is how we receive it, then the works are just the evidence that the root is actually alive.
It's the pre-programmed fruit, the blueprint being executed, a beautiful symmetry between identity and action.
Okay, so now we have to move into the part of this that, well, it causes the most friction.
Yeah.
Because it really seems to challenge everything we just laid out about grace.
You're talking about James.
I'm talking about James. Why does he insist so strongly that faith has to have proof?
Yeah.
That without action, it's, useless. This work is really interesting.
Right, and to understand James, you have to understand he's addressing a completely different problem than Paul was in Ephesians.
Okay.
Paul was talking to people trying to earn their way in. James, on the other hand, is talking to people who claimed they'd already received the gift, but their lives looked exactly the same. There was no sign of life.
So a sort of nominal belief versus a real transformative one.
Precisely. And James is incredibly blunt about it. He gives us that famous line, "Even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone."
That's a strong word. Dead.
It is. He's not saying you need works to get saved. He's saying that if you are saved, there will be works. He defines dead faith as just, an intellectual agreement, saying, oh yeah, I believe in God, but then nothing changes.
So James is kind of using our actions as a diagnostic tool.
That's the perfect way to describe it.
If you claim to have faith, but your life looks identical to someone who doesn't, then what did that faith actually do for you? What did it save you from or for?
Exactly. I like to use an analogy. Imagine you own this incredible high-performance sports car. The engine your faith is running, but it's just sitting in the garage, wheels locked, collecting dust.
It's useless.
It's completely useless. The engine might be alive, but because the wheels, your works aren't moving, the car isn't going anywhere. James is saying a living, functional faith has to be moving you somewhere.
So they aren't two competing ideas.
Not at all. They're two sides of the same coin. Paul is arguing against works as the source of salvation. James is arguing against the absence of works as the proof of salvation.
Okay, that clarifies so much. We don't work for acceptance, we work from acceptance. Our actions become a sort of thermometer for our internal spiritual temperature.
A living faith is never sterile. It has to produce fruit. If there's no fruit, the life has died.
This brings us really neatly into our third source, which shifts from the theology to the sheer practical power that gets unlocked when you combine belief with the will to act.
Right. What happens when we actually put that living faith into motion?
For that, we go to Matthew 17 and the famous mustard seed analogy.
If ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you.
And the insight here isn't about having enormous faith, because the mustard seed is tiny.
It was one of the smallest seeds they knew at the time. The focus isn't on the quantity of faith, but on the powerful quality of even a little bit of genuine faith.
But there's an action component here, isn't there?
Absolutely. Notice the command structure Jesus uses. Ye shall say unto this mountain. The mountain doesn't just move because you sat on the couch and thought about it really hard. It moves because you have the audacity to step out and command it to move. That requires belief plus a corresponding action. Faith is the engine, but action is putting the car in gear.
And I know our source material had a post-mill story here, because moving mountains can feel so abstract, impossible even. Our mountains look more like debt, or a family problem, or a career wall.
Exactly. I remember reading this reflection from someone who was facing a huge career challenge. The mountain was this massive, intimidating pivot.
Like leaving a stable job.
A stable but ethically draining job to start something totally new with no clear path forward. And the fear was just paralyzing.
I think we can all relate to that feeling.
Right. And they realized they didn't have mountain-sized faith. They had mustard seed faith. But the key was taking one small active step.
What was the step?
The fear was screaming, I can't do this. The mustard seed action was just sending one email, one introductory email to a single contact. That was the saying to the mountain, remove.
Wow. And what happened?
What happened was that one tiny, terrifying step broke the inertia. The person who got the email just happened to know the perfect connection. A conversation started. The mountain began to shift, not by magic, but because belief was translated into one concrete, tiny action.
It's the total opposite of just thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's a physical demonstration of trust.
It is.
So for you listening, this brings it to the practical application. If works are the evidence, what does this look like day to day?
Well, the works that flow from true faith, they're always characterized by service and gratitude, not guilt.
Okay.
The sources point to three big categories. One is serving others in concrete ways. Another is being generous with resources, both time and money. And the last one is standing up for justice, which requires courage and action.
These are the things that make that masterpiece we talked about in Ephesians visible to the world.
Exactly. And when you connect all three of these segments, you see the complete unified picture. They harmonize perfectly.
So let's synthesize this. Here are the three key takeaways from our deep dive.
Okay, takeaway number one, the relationship is root to fruit.
Root to fruit.
True. Living faith always results in action. The works are the fruit that prove the root of grace is alive, but they never, ever pay for the root itself.
Key takeaway number two, grace alone saves us. We have to keep coming back to Ephesians.
We have to. Salvation is a gift. We can't perform our way into earning it or keeping it. This protects us from burning out, trying to achieve a standing we already have.
And the final takeaway.
Key takeaway number three, action unlocks power. The mustard seed teaches us that even a tiny bit of faith can achieve incredible results. The only requirement is that we're willing to act on it.
To step out and engage.
To believe that nothing is impossible with God.
So there it is, we've reconciled it. You're saved by grace, but your faith must produce action. It's a three-part system. Grace provides the gift, faith receives it, and works demonstrate its reality and power.
Flawless symmetry.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you. If your works are the evidence of your faith, that undeniable thermometer, what does your current pattern of actions reveal about your level of trust? What's one small mustard seed action you're being challenged to take today to demonstrate that your faith is truly alive? Go move your mountain.